Hi, Coach O'Connor. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you. Congratulations on your new position at
Thank
UK.
you so much. Thank
How
you for
exciting.
having me.
I'm so happy to see such an accomplished woman, young woman. You're very young to be the head coach of Kentucky Cheer. Very
Thank
young.
you. I feel like I'm probably around the same age as the males that came before me. I think, normally they would, graduate and spend a few years maybe being an assistant coach or coaching white squad before moving up.
Okay. And how old were you when you started at Ole Miss? Because you were the previous head coach at Ole Miss, correct?
Yes, I believe I was 27, maybe 26 when I started at Ole Miss. 23, I think, when I started at UAB
Okay.
coaching.
So I've watched cheerleading for a long time. I've been cheering since I was 5 or 6, and I always noticed Ole Miss had great uniforms, but they didn't always have the best talent. I'm not trying to shade, but you won a national title there, if I'm correct,
We
right?
did, yeah. I think we made huge progress while I was at Ole Miss, and I agree with you. I always thought, sorry, my little thing's popping up. I gotta exit. They have great colors, and I was like, wow. I
I
mean, and they're
love,
always so
love, the,
beautiful.
love everything about the uniform. Beautiful
Yeah,
cheerleaders.
yeah,
They did work, and you put in the work, and you did it. Congratulations there too.
we did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so I want to start because you cheered for UK. Was it what years was it? Remind me.
Uh, 1 year, 2008 to 2009.
Okay, so you have seen UK cheer now from a student athlete perspective, and now you're starting a coaching perspective. So, can you describe to me what it is like to be a student athlete on the cheerleading squad at UK?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a hard question. That's hard to put into
yeah.
words because you guys do so much. People do not realize how much the cheerleading team does each and every day.
I agree. I always say that, what we do is more than a sport because I think, the sport aspect of it is there with the conditioning, the workouts, the practices, the competition, but then we're also more than a sport because, we're supporting our university at other athletic events, at community service events. We're the front lines for I think anyone who gets to know the University of Kentucky. We're the people they're sending to UK Children's Hospital. We're the ones doing the community service here in Lexington. And we're the people who are supposed to be ambassadors and be able to speak to everyone too. And so I just think I always say it's not just a sport, but it's way more than that, just because of everything that we do on top of, going to class as well and, meeting the ultimate goal, which is getting our degree. Every student that comes in, I say, be prepared to dedicate, some amount of time every single day to this program because there's not a day that goes by that you're not doing something, whether it's getting study hours, going to an appearance, a game, a workout, a practice. There's something every single day for you.
Cheer is life. Cheer is life
It
at
is.
UK, that's for sure.
Yes.
So, how does that compare as a student athlete now transitioning into your head coaching position?
Yeah, I would say that there's a reason this is a full-time job, right? Because I'm even more busy because they get to kind of rotate, for games. They're not all cheering every single game when there's games, but also there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I don't think I realized when I was, in school and going through. I would see my mom as a high school coach, the things that she would do, but just like the planning that goes into each practice, the planning that goes into each workout, to checking study hours, to checking grades, just everything that goes into it. But I think I'm prepared because I've been balancing, activities my whole life. Played a lot of sports growing up, was in cheer my whole life. I didn't find the transition from high school to college difficult. I think just because I had a very competitive high school. So I was already used to putting in the time it took. So I didn't find the transition hard, and it's just a great job that I get to continue to work, in the sport of cheerleading and do what I love, and then great relationships with the kids that I have.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you more about that because this is definitely not your first rodeo in Lexington. You were a part of PLD, Paul Lawrence Dunbar, their cheerleading squad.
Yes.
And you happened to be there during the years that there was a Lifetime show. Am I correct?
Yes, you
And
are.
when I found that out, I fangirled because I remember me and my mom, because my mom was my cheerleading coach when I was in
Oh
elementary,
yeah,
middle
it's
school.
rough.
And so I remember being like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. Like, it's right here in Lexington. So how do you
Yep.
think that being a part of something so public, this reality show, do you think that that's kind of prepared you for the spotlight that you're taking on at UK?
I do. Actually, I was talking to someone last night that asked, if, how could I get prepared for this job, or what could I do? And truthfully, I think I've been preparing for this job my whole life. I think, I think the experiences that I've had with my mom as a coach, the experiences that I had in a competitive high school program, obviously competitive, college programs and cheering in the SEC, I think it's just prepared me to coach in the SEC and be at the top program. My parents, I always joke and say I wasn't raised by two parents, but I was raised by two coaches, because I think they're incredibly competitive people, and they kind of made me that way and made me want to be the best at everything I do. So I do think my time at Dunbar had a huge impact on me, but I just feel like there was no other option. I was born to be at a program like this.
You said it earlier, you were training your whole life to be this.
Yeah.
And maybe you didn't even know it, but here
Right.
you are. Your mom is a legend, KHSA legend. She is. So how many, you won 5?
I'm plugging in my computer, I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. You won 5 titles at Dunbar? KHSA?
I did.
Was it KPOS?
KPOS. Yeah, it was KPOS then. I did actually compete when I was in the 7th grade. My mom and I, it was strange. We actually just brought that up today. I competed in the 7th grade with Dunbar for state because they had a girl who had like an academic trip, a field trip, and was gone. And I was on the JV team in middle school. You could, instead of cheering for Beaumont Middle School, I could cheer for the Dunbar JV team. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do that. I would rather go ahead and get in this program than, no offense to Beaumont, but I was just going to go ahead and be at Dunbar.
Nobody can blame you for joining Dunbar's team before
exactly.
you were in high school. Nobody.
And so I got to compete when I was in 7th grade and win a title there. And then the 4 years that I was in high school. So yes, 5 KPOS. I understand. I'm like the luckiest cheerleader ever. I know I've been blessed with great teams and great coaches.
You are decorated. Well, you are definitely decorated. So you had 5 titles at Dunbar, correct?
Yes.
And those national, state?
5 KPOS titles, 5 UCA titles, 4 team titles, and I actually 1 group stunt when I was a sophomore.
And then you went to UK, and did you win the title at UK, or did you win Alabama?
I did not compete, but UK did win.
Okay.
In 2009, yes, but I was not on the competition team. I was there supporting.
And then you were at Alabama and you won a title there.
Yes, in 2011.
And then you did Team USA. And I'm just so curious, like, what do you do on Team USA? Like, do you get to travel and do things like, I know you compete at the world competition, right? And you guys won world titles, I would assume.
Yes, we did.
And so just tell me a little bit about that. I don't think people really know, like, people might not even know that there's a USA cheerleading team.
Yeah.
But tell people a little bit more about what you do on the USA cheerleading squad.
Yeah, so the national team, I'm sorry, what was that?
Were you based out of Lexington for that, or did you travel and go somewhere? Where were you?
No, so it started out, 2009 was the first year that we had a national team, and it was, they did train here in Kentucky. They trained, it was a lot of Louisville and UK cheerleaders actually that made up that first team. Then in 2010, Trout started being open. I actually made the all-girl team that year. That was my first year at Alabama. And I had a professor say no, because you're going to miss 3 weeks of school. It's like 2.5 weeks, because at that point we were training in, that year we were going to be training in Atlanta. So they used to move it around. Now it's just one set location in Orlando. But that first year we were going to train in Atlanta. Year 2, 2011, I was on the co-ed team, and professors said, go for it that time.
It's your civic duty. You have to go.
I know. I will never forgive that Professor Weisbart. I will never forget you, because he made me miss out, but I was lucky to do it 3 more years. So in 2011, we trained in Dallas. So we all we had, videos and skills that we had to be doing in April before we met in person. And they've gotten better with that every year. But then we would all fly to Dallas, train there for about a week and a half. And then week 2, we would go to Orlando, have a couple more training days there, more like showcases, preparing for the world's competition. 2012, they got smart and just said, we're just doing the training in Orlando. Then we don't have to, miss a day of practice with travel again. So now the training is all done in Orlando. And now with technology, the training is getting, it's starting earlier and earlier. It used to happen, like in April, we would all meet each other and have to put together like a gold medal worthy routine with like, hey, what's your name and what school do you cheer for? And now it's like, we do a lot of virtual meetings. We do a lot of, hey, these are the skills you need to be working on before you show up in April. So that way, when we show up in April, we already have an idea of the skills that we're going to perform. back in 2012 and 2013, 2011, it was still like we all put it together when we were there. So I think they've gotten better and it's not as stressful as it used to be. But represent the United States in a couple events throughout the year. It wouldn't be the whole team, but they would do select individuals. I was on the active athletes board. So any of the rules that were passed, for the federation, I would be a part of that and voting for that. I'm still a part of that board.
So did you cheer for Alabama and USA at the same time?
Yes.
So did you sleep? Did you ever sleep or eat or anything?
Yeah, you have to if you're going to be an athlete at that level. I just didn't do the other things.
So now you've been all around the world with cheer. So how does it feel to be back in Lexington where you started? It's got to feel like full circle. Like this, this is the you said it perfectly early. You've worked your whole life for this, and you probably didn't even realize it.
No, I didn't. I think it's a fairy tale that I get to come back to my hometown and coach the team that I grew up, cheering for, that I grew up loving. I think it's great when you're a college coach, and every college coach will tell you, you have to love whatever school you're at, be where your feet are. And like I loved Ole Miss. I was all in for every Ole Miss sports team when I was there. Obviously, when I was cheering in Alabama, I was, very invested in that. But it is nice to come home to, the university that I spent 18 years of my life before, I left, and then secretly while I was gone, loving. I get to just love the school that I feel like, I was born to love here in Lexington. So it really has come full circle. My family's so excited. Honored to take on this position, but really just excited for my family that we get to experience these games together just from a new perspective.
Mm-hmm. So what was your favorite memory of being at UK for the year that you were there?
I have lots of great memories. I was thinking about that because I saw it. I think my favorite part would probably be cheering the game in Memorial. So the men's team went to the NIT that year in 2009. We played UNLV. And so getting to be in that last game, that last men's game in Memorial Coliseum, I think that was, really exciting. I did get to cheer in Rupp that year. That was awesome. But getting to have a men's game in Memorial, and Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the last one that's, ever been played there. And
that's correct.
That was exciting. Yes. Yeah. So I thought that was really special. My whole family, got to be there and got to see me, cheer on the men's team in Memorial Coliseum. And I thought that was awesome.
Okay. What about at Dunbar? Because, you're telling me now you spent how many years? You were probably 12-ish when you started cheering for the varsity squad at Dunbar, and then you probably 18 when you left. So in those 6 years, what was your favorite memory there?
Because I'm truly my whole life.
They're fascinating. They are college level when they're 14, 15, 16. It's insane.
Yes, so, I think that's just the state of Kentucky. I think that's Kentucky, something that I learned.
People say Kentucky's basketball state. It's a cheer state.
It's a cheer state. That's what we're known for. Yeah, horse racing, basketball, cheerleading. It's all right up there together. And I learned that just from living in Tuscaloosa, living in, Mississippi. I lived in Memphis for a while. There's just Kentucky. We're just bred to be cheerleaders. So I couldn't wait to get back here and just recruit from this talent and be involved where people, I think, take cheerleading, seriously for the sport that it is. I think my favorite memory at Dunbar, I don't know that I have just one. I would probably say just being able to share those moments with my mom. It was really hard having your mom as a teacher and a coach, and your mom at home and my assistant tennis coach. She was always there, but at the same time, she was there for some huge moments in my life that I think helped make me who I am. And so I didn't have to come home from practice and explain to her how I was feeling. She was feeling it too. And, at nationals, I didn't have to go into the stands and, see her when we were getting our white jackets, she's right there putting on her jacket too. I think that that's something that is really special. Difficult, especially when I was 16, 17, a little brat, but yes, but so special. So I would just say just getting to share those memories with my mom is the best part.
And I bet she's over the moon. You're in your high school bedroom, so I'm sure she's glad to have you home for a while.
She is. My dad's okay, y'all need to get out now and find a house. My mom's stay as long as you want.
But I'm sure she's over the moon that you've gotten the cheerleading job. This is the job for anybody who wants to be in the business. You've got it. So she's got to be just crazy right now.
Yes. My mom is, She doesn't really, praise is not her love language. She doesn't know how to give
What's wrong
praise
for
very
you?
often. I get it. She's a
Yeah.
coach. You can always
Yeah.
do more. But I did get a little bit of like, good job, coming home. And I know that, just seeing her tell her friends is how I know that she's proud.
That's moms.
And her
Moms
being
will
so
never say it to
helpful.
your face, but they'll
Yep.
go and tell everybody
Everybody else.
your
Yep.
kid. Trust me, I
So
know.
I hear that she's really proud.
Yeah, she hasn't told me, but I've
Yeah.
heard. So
Yes.
switching gears a little bit, because I know we're in a really strange position this year. There was no in-person tryouts. Probably the first time in cheerleading history for UK that
Yeah.
there was not a tryout. And I think, where is it, Memorial, that they do the tryouts at?
Yes. Mhm.
So nobody was in Memorial this year doing the
Nope.
tryouts. Nobody was flipping around. So can you walk me through how you picked a team? Because I have no clue how
Yeah.
you pick. Because when you see a cheer skill, it's really important, I feel, to see it in person.
Yes.
There's a lot of technique. A lot of people can get stuff in the air, throw something, and it lands, but it's not, the technique's not there. And I
Right.
feel like that's hard to see over a computer screen. So
Or in your video, right? Like you can do it. You can do that skill 100 times
that's
until you get the
exactly what
perfect
somebody
video.
asked me.
Yeah.
So everybody got their best chance this year because you could do it a million times before you send
Yep.
it in. So it wasn't a live tryout. It was like a taped.
Yep. Yes, taped. We put up the requirements, and I think they had just a week, because we had to do it quickly. Not only because I wanted a team quickly and they wanted a team quickly, but because of things like scholarships, housing, a lot of stuff with the university side that, they need to know who's on our team.
About who's going to be on campus and who's not. So
Right. Like they've got to know. Kids are picking their school, some people are
Yeah.
probably still holding out on, do I go to UK? Do I go somewhere else? And so, just respectfully, we wanted to get it done as quick as possible. It's not, their fault that trials were later. And so, a week turnaround, we knew that some people were going to have to use, videos from this past season. We said, try not to get any videos super old, try to keep them all from this past season. Some people were able to record all new videos. Some people did things outside. I think, going into tryouts as a coach, most of the time you kind of know, well, if you're at the school, like, obviously I've not been here recruiting, but like I could have picked Ole Miss's team easy because I've been recruiting these kids for 3 years. I knew who was coming in this year. But I think you kind of know who you want in your program because you've worked with them, but then tryouts are a good opportunity to see them like polished and in front of people and under pressure. So like with videos, yeah, I mean, you could do it 100 times and get it perfect.
Yeah.
But if you didn't and you submitted something that was like average, you kind of judge that person that way too. And you're like, man, they could have just redone it.
You had one job,
yeah.
but you had so many chances. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of learning like the effort level, I think, that returners put into tryout videos, that incoming, rookies put in. But it is tough. I had a panel of judges that have all judged the live tryouts before, that I've known, that were all UK cheerleaders, decorated UK cheerleaders. And it was hard. We'd be like, man, we think this video is good. Does anyone know this girl? Do we need to do the interview now? Like, so we did interviews. We reached out to references, just making sure that they're good people. That's truly what you want. I can teach skills. My assistant coaches are going to be able to teach skills, but do they have the work ethic? Do they have the mindset to be a University of Kentucky cheerleader? I'll take care of the rest. And so that's where I think checking references really came in to play for us with tryouts.
So a lot of people don't understand that you do recruit for cheerleading. So could you walk me through how you would go about recruiting a cheerleader? Like how do you find out about people? Like do they come to you? Do you go to them? Like what's the process for that?
Both. I would say at the University of Kentucky, much easier to recruit in that people do want to come to you. There's a limit on their clinics here. And so that's something that I'm excited about, but also I'm used to being at smaller schools at UAB or Ole Miss is not a smaller school, but a building program. And so I'm used to really going to these high school competitions, going to high school nationals and being really proactive. I'm not just going to wait for all of them to come to me. And I do think that's something that I'll do differently, is that I'm going to be extremely selective since I can be here, and I'm going after not just the best athletes, but who is going to be the best athlete, but also be the best person. And do they fit our mold? There were so many times at Ole Miss where I would be like, wow, like this person's really talented, but I don't think they're going to fit in here at Ole Miss. Like, I don't think they're going to fit in with our culture. I don't think they have the right mindset. They're a super talented athlete, but I think they need to go somewhere else just because of that. And so I'm, really grateful that I'm going to have that opportunity and have that, that power to say, hey, you want to come cheer at UK? And I think just get more of the kids that, I'm excited to bring in here. But just to have options, I think too, is really exciting.
So if you could put it into words, what is the Kentucky mold? What is it? Like, who is the Kentucky cheerleader? That's a hard question, but because I feel like there's a lot of different kinds, I would feel, but they must have some things in common, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think the being a Kentucky cheerleader means that you have, I'm trying to like put it in a good way, because like, so at your gyms or at your high school, right, there's that like 1%, those couple kids that get it. And those are normally the kids that I think end up here at the University of Kentucky. They're not the kids that you're having to remind of their why all the time. They're not the kids that you're having to encourage them to have self-discipline. They have it. They already have that drive. They have that competitiveness. I think, what I'm going to do is be encouraging them to have it in all areas, not just have it on the competitive side, but let's have it more on game day. Let's make game day more of an inter squad competition. Let's make it a competition to be better than the team we were last week. But I think these athletes are already, they're freaks. They are. They're the most insane athletes. They're the best athletes in our sport. No other school has athletes with a work ethic like the University of Kentucky. That's something that I think I took from my first year at UK to Alabama, and I think I helped build that at Alabama, because another school is like, oh, Kentucky, like they do that, and I'm like, let's not talk bad about Kentucky. Let's work harder than them. They work hard, and they don't just they're not okay with okay. And I felt like other schools I would go to, like they were okay with just being okay, just getting by. And at UK, like excellence is a choice, just like mediocrity. And these athletes choose excellence.
Yeah, UK holds their athletes to definitely a much higher standard than a lot of other schools. And I'm sure that especially with the cheerleading program, because cheerleading is about discipline in all aspects of your life, it must be so easy to transition from being like a UK cheerleader into the job force, because you know exactly what you have to do to get things done.
Right. And that's the plan. That's what we want. The ultimate goal is getting your degree and, being able to contribute to society when you leave, right. Not just be a cheerleader for life. And I definitely think that program, this program model, this culture helps prepare them for that. So so excited to, have a couple say like, do you get our system? Do you understand the system? And I'm like, listen, I get the system. I've been trying to implement it at other schools where maybe not every athlete gets the system. Imagine what we can do together with a coach that gets the system and athletes that get it. Like, I'm so excited.
And I think it's a beautiful thing in Kentucky, because a lot of cheerleaders or cheerleading coaches come from UK, and they spread around that kind of motto throughout the state. And I think that's why high school cheerleading in the state is so crazy too, because it is.
I agree. Yes. No, I agree. There was a year I went to high school nationals and every single division was won by a team from Kentucky.
I'm sure. I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were probably coached by somebody who had something to do with the UK cheerleading program at some point in their life.
Probably. Yes.
There's so many that come from the program that go out and assistant coach or head coach everywhere across the state.
Yeah. Or work at the gym that they train in, or
right.
Or yes.
Own their own gyms. A lot start their own gyms. It's crazy. It's almost like a cult, but a good cult, if that makes sense.
Yes, a good cult.
It's a good cult. It's a positive one. It's uplifting. So what are you guys doing right now? Are you practicing? Are you over Zoom?
So we're doing Zoom meetings. We had a team meeting last week. I have another one tonight with seniors, but we went over goals, team goals, and individual goals. Let each person go through. It was actually like 2 hours long, because everybody was really into their goals, and that's good. They spent a lot of time on them. That's what I'm saying. That's why we're different here. It wasn't just like, check the box. Here's my goal. I want to win. It wasn't like that. They really spent time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then tonight I'm meeting with seniors just to talk about what being a good leader means, and just to walk them through what my expectations are for them being leaders in the program, but also for a chance, for them to continue to get to know me. I've met all of the seniors now in person, but it's been brief and it's been, a lot of FaceTime since I've met them in person. And so just another opportunity just to create that relationship with my seniors that I'm going to have, because I think that they're the most important group going into this year.
Because I know summer is usually a really crucial time for cheer.
Yeah.
Because I know, is summer when 2-a-days, or is it 2 or 3-a-days?
Yes. Yeah, no, 2-a-days. We were hopeful, that we're hopeful still that we can have those starting August 10th. So the plan is to move in, everyone's moving in August 9th. Physicals happening August 10th, and then starting practice that week. So we'll have 1 week before classes begin. That will just be us. So that's where we're hoping to have, 2-a-days to help us get prepared for this year.
Yeah, so
it could change tomorrow, but that's the plan today.
It could change tomorrow, and we don't know what's going to happen. Yep. But I know NCA camp has it been canceled? That's what I thought.
Yes, all summer camps have been canceled. We looked into having a home camp and bringing an instructor to us, but it's just not worth the risk of having an outside person come in right now. That's not a part of our program.
Keep everybody healthy. So. Yeah. And I know we're all hoping for January for UCA, NCA to happen.
Yes.
Hoping, praying for that.
Yes, we have an update. I'm on the college advisory board for UCA. So we have a coaches meeting. That board meeting is next Monday. So I think just to kind of talk about what this year looks like for everyone. I think we were a part of the deciding factor to cancel camps because most of us would say, hey, whether budget cuts have happened or just not being able to travel, travel bans. So I think that's why UCA, decided to listen to coaches and do that. I'll be interested to see what every other, coaches from other conferences have to say about, where we stand right now for our competition in January. I think that's what we'll talk about on Monday and just hope to make the best decision for our athletes and for our school and for our sport.
I'm sure even though there's so many limitations that Kentucky Cheer is going to continue to keep climbing up and up and up. And like you said, everybody's working on their goals and exceeding them and doing what they should be doing. So I'm not worried at all personally.
Yes.
I'm sure you
not either.
might be a little nervous, but I'm feeling good about it. So
I'm good. I'm ready. I think they're ready and I'm ready. And I think the goal and what I've been preaching to them is that we got to stop saying we're so excited to get started or we can't wait to get started because we are started. We picked a team and we are started, and it's just a new normal. It's just a new start this year. But I think we have to fix our minds now before we're physically, practicing. We have to go ahead and be doing the things that we should be doing in quarantine. They've been getting weekly workouts. They need to be doing them at home. Otherwise, someone else on their team is, and they're going to, beat them out for that spot, or another team that we compete against is.
Right.
And so I think we just have to correct our mindset and stop saying that I can't wait to practice. I can't wait to get started. Like start today. And so that's what I've just
started yesterday. Yeah.
It already started. And if you didn't start, somebody else did. So
right.
Yeah.
There you go. No problems. No worries. No worries for Kentucky Cheer.
We'll be all right.
It's going to be okay. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah.
Congrats on the new job again. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen, whether or not there's in-person games, online games. I don't care. I can't wait to see what you guys do. And I'm hoping for January because I look forward to it.
I am too. I am absolutely hoping for January, especially if it's the best interest for everybody health wise. But I'm ready to compete. So I'm always ready to compete.
You're raring to go. Well, thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. It was nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.